Well then, it's finally time for my first redo of a build. I try not to talk about damage numbers too much in these things, and small changes to a build don't usually warrant a do-over. But Weavus had some significant changes to its gameplay, and I started making these videos differently somewhere along the line, and it is my favorite spec in the game, so I'll take my excuses to talk about it. So what's changed? Well, things got more complicated. Why am I the only one cheering? Weave Self got buffed, so it's now part of the power build, which means you'll be looking to rotate through every single element at some point while you have Weave Self active, so you can use the fire and air buffs. I won't lie, while I think the playstyle is really cool and really fun, the benchmark rotation is frankly ridiculous and very, very tight. So if you're not up for the piano challenge, you can play the older, much simpler Bolt to the Heart rotation that isn't running Weave Self. It's still entirely possible. I saw some somewhat recent benches with both Fiery Greatsword and Elemental, and it's about a 5% difference in damage. And that one just runs the Fire Air Fire loop that is not all that hard to deal with. It's the one you're using anyway if Weave Self isn't currently running. And essentially the one that people have been touting as the easy mode rotation, to which I have to respond, where the hell have you people been pre-patch? Anyway, with one elephant in the room addressed, let's get to the other two, shall we? First, survivability. Yeah, baseline, it's probably the worst in the entire game, but I'm personally so sick of the floor ellie memes, so here, take this. A full chart on how to increase your health without sacrificing a whole lot of damage, without running Jadebot cores. 18 to 20k health sounds pretty good to me. The Dragon's Gear is just that good. All these numbers came from the discretized gear optimizer, the link will be in the description. Personally, a max rank Jadebot core tends to be enough for me, but I know other people either want a bit more or don't have access to those. You can possibly get more out of this by messing around with Fire Signet, but I didn't want to mess with the damage ratios. By the way, I'm not going to do this for any other build, Ellie is just that important to me. Outside of that, you can also use Stone Resonance or Arcane Barrier over Blast, but I tend to find them both a bit meh. Armor of Earth is at least funny here. And the third elephant, seriously, what's with all the elephants? Utility. It's not great. You have a bit of CC, but it's mostly locked to your offhand, which can be hard to get to. You can add more with Conjure weapons, but that's still slow. You can also use Greater Elemental as a utility option, where water provides both CC and a big heal on demand. Outside of that, your options are pretty limited. Pretty much 2 Cleansing Fire exactly, which go figure is a cleanse. Most Ellie utilities are just damage. All in all, Power Weaver is what I consider quintessential Elementalist, and it's what you're playing it for. While it's finally back to being one of the highest damage ceiling builds, there's usually other options in the same range that are either safer and or have more utility. Like Catalyst, for example, or Condi Weaver.